How I cured chronic tension headaches in 3 minutes, 3 times a day. That's it. So let me tell you the story. I was at the beginning of my career and I had a full-time client load. I was running 6 groups a week. I was seeing a lot of people, helping a lot of people with trauma and pretty serious things going on in their life. And I had this problem with chronic tension headaches. And if I didn't take some kind of, ibuprofen or Tylenol or something, they would just get worse and worse and worse, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I was constantly taking something. I'm talking like 3 times in the work week. And I knew it was bad for my body and ripping up my gut, and I didn't want to be doing this. So I started to think about what's going on. Why am I suddenly getting these headaches, even if I don't feel, stressed out? I just have these chronic headaches that I can't get rid of. And so I thought I had a hypothesis that maybe it was some unprocessed emotion that I was picking up throughout the day, because remember, I was doing a lot of emotional work with people to process trauma and things like that. And then the other thing I thought is, well, if it's not unprocessed emotion, if I get more and more awareness about what's happening in my body, then I might have some idea of what's going on and then what to do about it. So I decided I've got to practice something, and it's got to be every day. So that's the key. That's the key to any change. Practice, 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 practice. You got to show up and do the practice, right? Well, I practice what I preach. So I said, okay, 3 minutes, 3 times a day. I put it in my calendar, scheduled it in, and then I set a timer on my phone for 3 minutes, didn't look at it, and my only objective was to try to focus my attention on my breath and my body during that time. I say try because sometimes at the beginning I couldn't do it. I would be spaced out, my mind would be off somewhere else, or I would just be kind of zony and trying to get into my breath and my body, but couldn't really feel anything. And that was my practice for that 3 minutes. And I was okay with that, moved on, and then attended my next 3-minute practice. So I explored this. And after a week of 3 minutes, 3 times a day, I noticed, wait a minute, I only had one headache this week. And so I kept up the practice week after week, 3 minutes, 3 times a day. Suddenly, I was not having any more tension headaches. So here's what I think was going on. Emotions are, and by the way, this was years ago, and I haven't had a problem with tension headaches since. If I start to get a headache, I know to implement that practice again, but that doesn't really happen very often anymore because of the practice, I've kind of integrated it into my daily life. So here's what I think was happening. So we know emotions are a physiological experience, right? So we experience emotions in the body, not in the mind. When an emotion fires, now a thought may fire an emotion, but when an emotion fires, our biology changes. Our heart rate, breathing, temperature, blood pressure, muscle tension, all of these things are happening involuntarily in our body. When we imagine experiencing fear, right? Like a snake just slithers across the room. Do you see how my body just changed? Tightness happened, held my breath. I'm sure my heart rate, blood pressure, temperature, things that I can't even measure in this moment would change. So when we want to process emotions, a very quick and efficient way is to pay attention to sensations in the body. You don't have to wait for an intense emotion to come up to do this. Remember, I did 3 minutes, 3 times a day. I put it in my schedule. I wasn't necessarily feeling, oh, I'm feeling something unpleasant here, I better pay attention. It was in my schedule, so I paid attention to my body. And paying attention to my physical body and physical sensations in my body, if there was anything that needed to be processed, it was getting processed quickly, efficiently, easily, because I was paying attention. And no more did I need to have that emotional buildup until my muscle tension was feeling it and I was feeling it in my head. I didn't even have to consciously relax my muscles or do anything. All I did was pay attention to myself in my body. And emotions know how to process. The body is so wise. If we can get out of the way, the body knows how to sleep. The body knows how to process emotions. The body knows how to digest. The body knows a lot of things. If we can get out of its way, pay attention, breathe in, breathe out, notice without trying to control, notice and allow, and let the body be. Healing happens. Amazing things happen. Really connected, getting really connected to your wisdom happens. Being able to, like this, have access to your wisdom whenever you want to make a decision throughout your day. That happens from the simple practice of paying attention to your body, paying attention to your breath. So I committed to myself back then to do 3 minutes, 3 times a day. Now I have a morning practice that's a bit longer, and that shifts over time. And I have what's called an informal practice throughout the day. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm noticing how I'm breathing in and breathing out, and where my attention's going, and I'm noticing what's happening in my body. And so I automatically do this now because of my practice. My question for you is, what will you commit to? How will you practice the skill? This is a muscle to be developed. And like any skill, you've got to show up every single day and practice. Now, I offer Mindful Mondays, 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. I guide you through 20 minutes of mindfulness practice. This is to give you some verbal prompts and help you tune in, and also set up your week getting ready for mindfulness practice, and encourage you, and also build a community of thrivers where we can come together, and we're all coming together to practice thriving in our lives and practice being better. So that's one resource, is my 10 a.m. Facebook Live Mindful Mondays. You can use any resource you want. Post up in the comment section. When other people see what you are doing, it inspires them to do better as well. So if you have a way that you are practicing mindfulness, and if you're noticing benefits, please post up and share. We love to hear that. So thank you for watching. I'm going to go meditate now, actually. I'm Dr. Bando, happy to help you shift from surviving to thriving.